Hi, I'm Anna. Recently, I was faced with a difficult choice. It would be awesome if you listened to my story and helped me come to a decision. I can count on you, right? Then hit that like button and let's get it on. I was a weak and sickly child. Maybe that was why my parents abandoned me. Mom and Dad had probably left me at the orphanage as soon as they found out their baby wasn't healthy. I spent most of my childhood in the hospital, getting my ticker treated. That's what I called my heart. Unfortunately, it wasn't working properly. One day, I was brought to the hospital yet again, and my doctor said that I needed a new heart.
And then I will recover and be able to play with the other kids?
That's right, Anna. I imagined a magical farm where beautiful and healthy hearts were being grown. However, the doctor patted me on the head with a sad smile and said that things weren't that simple. We need to find you a right donor, and that could take years, sweetheart. Even though I didn't get a healthy ticker that day, I met someone special. I couldn't sleep and was wandering through the hospital corridors when I saw a girl my age. An IV was connected to her arm, and she was doodling horses.
Hi, your drawing is very pretty. Thank you. I love riding horses. Lately, I've been here all the time though. Me too. Hey, do you want to swap IVs? I bet mine is better. Haha, my doctor would be so mad.
Her name was Claire. It was friendship at first sight. That's right. Who said that only worked for love? Claire and I had a lot in common and were inseparable ever since that day. She became the closest thing I had to a family. After all, I didn't get along with the other kids at the orphanage. Soon, my friend said she was being discharged. Claire gave me one of her drawings as a parting gift. In return, I gave her my amulet. It's so beautiful. I'll never take it off. Then she went home to her family, and we never saw each other again. Years passed, and I turned 16. I was still living in the orphanage and waiting for my turn for a heart transplant. I wanted to fulfill my dream, become a runner, and take part in marathons. Of course, with my health, that wasn't possible. One evening, I was feeling really down. As I was looking through some of my old stuff, I accidentally found Claire's drawing. Oh, that brought me back. I wondered how she was doing. I got really excited and decided to find my childhood friend. Unfortunately, I didn't know anything about her except her name. So I decided to try my luck and found a website that helped people look for each other. I registered and almost immediately got a notification that someone had been looking for me for the last several months. Holy heck, could it be Claire? It wasn't her though, but some girl called Sandra. I couldn't believe it. She said she was my older sister. I didn't really believe her, but called her anyway. As soon as Sandra heard my voice, she was overcome with emotions. Through tears of joy, she told me something that turned my life upside down. Anna, we were separated when we were kids. I only found out you existed this year and immediately started looking for you. Our parents didn't abandon us. They died. I got adopted by a family from another city and didn't know anything about you until recently. What? Mom and Dad died? Had I been mad at them for no reason my whole life? That news took me by surprise, and I felt sick. A sharp pain pierced my chest, and the world went dark. Oh no, my ticker was acting up again. I quickly told Sandra the address of my orphanage and asked a teacher for help. She called an ambulance, and I was brought to the hospital. The doctor's diagnosis was grim. I needed an emergency surgery. There was also good news, though. They found a donor for me. The last thing I remembered before the surgery was the kind eyes of my surgeon, Dr. Cooper. Don't worry, Anna. You'll be fine. All I saw after that was darkness. When I came to, the doctor told me the surgery had gone well. Congratulations, Anna. You have a new heart now. Soon, you will fully recover and even be able to play sports. Did you hear that? I could run. Thank you, my guardian angel. I believed that my life would only get better from then on. One day, Sandra visited me in the hospital. My sister turned out to be a real beauty. They told me at the orphanage that you had surgery, and I immediately came here. Then, she told me that when she turned 18, her adoptive parents told her that her biological mom and dad had died. They didn't know the details, but from that day on, my sister became obsessed with finding out what happened to our parents. Will you help me investigate? I was about to say yes when Dr. Cooper walked into my ward. He overheard our conversation and strictly forbade Sandra from disturbing me while I was recovering. Anna needs complete rest. She can't put any stress on her body right now. My sister was very understanding. She said she'd let me know if she found out anything interesting and left right away. Get well soon, sis. While I was in the hospital, Dr. Cooper treated me like a daughter. He took care of me, gave me sweets, and cheered me up. I even thought that was probably what having a father felt like. We talked a lot, and one day, Doc told me that he had 4 sons. I am very proud of them, but my wife and I have always dreamed of having a daughter, someone like you, Anna. I didn't understand what he was getting at. The day I was supposed to be discharged, Dr. Cooper walked into my ward with balloons and said he wanted to adopt me. I couldn't believe my luck. I was healthy, had a sister, and a new family. It was everything I ever dreamed of and more. I texted Sandra to tell her the good news and got to packing. So, instead of going back to the orphanage, I came to my new home. It was huge and beautiful. My new room looked like a princess's bedroom. However, cracks soon began to show. I immediately realized that something wasn't right. My adoptive mom didn't leave her room or talk to anyone. She lived in her own world. My wife is a little depressed. Give her some time and she'll get better, Anna. My adoptive brothers were the worst. All of them, from the youngest, Richard, and to the eldest, John, wanted me gone. They didn't even try to hide it. Anna, or whatever your name is, we're warning you, leave or you'll regret it. The nerve of them! I hadn't even done anything. On the contrary, I tried to be nice and helped around the house. That didn't end well. One day, I was cleaning Richard's room when he ran up to me and snatched a toy rabbit out of my hands. Don't touch him! Someone special gave me this rabbit. You'll never replace her, so don't even try. What was he on about? I wasn't trying to replace anyone. I tried to ask my brothers about it, but none of them explained anything. They just looked at me accusingly and scoffed. Oh, whatever. I was done with trying to make them like me. My new dad adored and spoiled me, though. He gave me a whole wardrobe of new clothes, a ton of jewelry, and even a top-of-the-line phone. In the orphanage, I could only dream of such luxury. We went out every weekend. One day, my dad suggested I join an equestrian team. I wanted to become a runner, but I like horses too. Great, let's celebrate. I think you need a new hairstyle. Well, why not? We came to a salon and Dad told the hairdresser what he wanted to see. An hour later, I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize myself. It was like I became a different person. Riding came easy to me. I mastered the basic techniques and even took part in competitions for novices. However, I still wanted to become a runner, so that didn't bring me much joy. I couldn't quit the team because I was afraid of hurting Dad's feelings. One day, I came back after practice and ran into my adoptive mom in the hallway. She'd finally left her room. Mrs. Cooper looked at me like she had seen a ghost and then hugged me tightly. Your hair, your clothes, it can't be. My girl has come back to me. I didn't know what changed, but after that incident, it was like she was replaced. She no longer sat in her room for days on end. Now she looked happy and spoiled me just like Dad. My adoptive brothers hated it and didn't hesitate to show it. How pathetic. You're just a fake, Anna. I was already used to their attitude and tried to ignore them. Still, I couldn't get rid of the feeling that something was wrong. I decided to call Sandra and find out how her investigation was going to get my mind off things. My sister's words made me really worried. Anna, I found out something crazy. I can't tell you everything over the phone. Let's meet at a pizzeria tomorrow and talk in person. I agreed and put the phone away. But then I saw Dad and realized he had been eavesdropping on our conversation. Who are you meeting tomorrow? Sandra. It seems she found out something important about the death of our parents. I don't trust her, but okay. The next day, I was about to go to the pizzeria when Dad stopped me. Anna, wait. I made some inquiries about Sandra and found out that she is a fraud. She travels around the country, finds orphans, and says she's their relatives to get her hands on their money. I didn't want to believe Dad, but he showed me Sandra's police file. Apparently, she had once been a suspect. I have a friend who's a cop, and he helped me find information about Sandra. I'm sorry, Anna, but that con artist is not your sister. Can you believe it? How could Sandra try to profit from my tragedy? She had no shame. I was furious and sent her a text, telling her to go to hell. Now that that's been dealt with, I have a surprise for you, sweetie. I signed you up for the National Equestrian Competition, my little winner. I wasn't excited at all, and realized that it was time for us to have an honest conversation. I told him that I was going to become an athlete instead, like I'd always wanted, but for some reason, Dad thought I was joking. That's a good one. We both know you can't live without horses. Like everyone in that family, Dad was acting really weird. A little later, my adoptive brothers came to my room and told me something that blew my mind. We need to talk, Anna. Are you gonna threaten me again? No, we came to warn you. Our parents told us to keep our mouths shut, but you should know that we had a sister your age. We all adored her. Unfortunately, she had poor health, and recently, our little sister died. John told me their parents almost went crazy with grief, so they decided to adopt me and turn me into a copy of their daughter. You're a good girl, Anna, but you will never replace Claire. We're sorry for the way we treated you, but if you don't want to live in the shadow of our sister your whole life, you need to leave. That sounded absolutely insane. Of course I didn't believe a single word they said. It was probably another trick to get rid of me. I chased them away and slammed the door so loudly that a painting fell off the wall. I picked it up and found a hiding place under one of the floorboards. Curious, I pulled out a box and opened it. Inside was an amulet that I had once given to Claire. Can you imagine? They were also photos of my friend taken at a racetrack there. In them, she was wearing the same clothes as me. Even our hairstyles were identical. I felt like I was about to lose it. The Coopers were Claire's family. Her brothers were right. Her parents really had turned me into a copy of their daughter. Brrr. A chill ran down my spine. I realized that I would never see Claire again and burst into tears. All of a sudden, my phone vibrated in my pocket. It was Sandra. Talking to her was the last thing I wanted. wanted. I asked you to leave me alone. Mr. Cooper told me you're just a pathetic liar. And you believe that bastard? He lied to you because I found out his terrible secret. Anna, our parents died in an accident and it was Mr. Cooper's fault. My head was spinning. If that was true, then Mr. Cooper was a real psycho. My blood ran cold. Anna, don't worry. Soon I will take you away from that madhouse. I put my phone away and started to frantically pack my things. I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. But then, my adoptive father walked into my room and saw what I was doing and immediately understood everything. Stay away from me. I know everything. You're a psycho. Anna, it seems we need to have a serious talk. Sandra really is your sister. I lied because I was afraid she would tell you the truth, and you would want to leave. It's about time you find out what really happened. It happened many years ago. I was called to the hospital to perform an emergency surgery, so I was in a hurry. It was raining. Your parents' car appeared out of nowhere. I lost control of the car and that's how it happened. He said he was found not guilty, but Dr. Cooper still felt terrible because he heard that my parents had 2 daughters. One of them was immediately adopted, but the other baby was in poor health and ended up in an orphanage. I have always watched over you from afar and even knew that you were friends with my daughter, Claire, our little princess. My wife and I had wanted a daughter for a very long time, but Claire spent a lot of time in the hospital because of her frail health ever since she was born. She died the day you were admitted to the hospital. It's Claire's heart beating in your chest right now. What? I was so shocked I couldn't utter a word. Tears streamed down my face. I felt so sorry for the Coopers. The doctor was silent for a while and then continued. I've grown fond of you and decided to adopt you so that Claire's heart would come back home. I hoped it would help our family deal with grief. However, I shouldn't have tried to turn you into Claire. I'm sorry, Anna. You are your own person. At that moment, someone knocked on the door. We opened it and saw Sandra. I'm taking my sister away and I'll take care of her myself. Mr. Cooper, there's no excuse for what you did. Anna, do you really want to leave? I think that will be better for everyone. He did not stop me and signed all the documents we needed. I said goodbye to the Coopers and soon moved into my sister's apartment. I got my old hairstyle back and finally took up running. I was myself again. Sandra and I grew very close, and life went back to normal. But recently, I ran into John and Richard. They told me that after I left, Mr. and Mrs. Cooper got depressed again, and joy left their house. We miss you, Anna. I'm sorry we were so selfish. Please come back to us. Let's start over. I didn't know what to say. On the one hand, I sincerely loved that family and owed them a lot. But on the other hand, Dr. Cooper had been deceiving me for so long. What should I do? In any case, I will always remember Claire and cherish her heart. Please tell me what you think I should do in the comments down below. And don't forget to press like.